Or are we? Let's explore this. Hi there, this is Jikasi. I'm an artist, and today we are doing an art exploration and meditation about the belief of brokenness from trauma, and maybe try to see how we can fix ourselves and heal. So, what do I mean by this? This refers to the many little cuts and big cuts that we acquire as we go through life, be it heartbreak, harsh criticisms, major trauma, feeling of failure, many other things. We accumulate a lot of this damage just from living. And as time goes on, from one experience to another, it starts to influence how we believe ourselves. That we are broken. That all these events are something that we deserve. That these experiences are what makes us. How can you not, especially when it happens all the time? We internalize and make them part of ourselves. The more we let it happen, it slowly becomes who we are. It becomes a limiting belief about ourselves. When I think of that fragility, I think of broken porcelain. A damage so unfixable, we just trash the whole thing. The question then becomes, how do we fix ourselves? As I searched for a different approach about this topic, I stumbled upon a Japanese practice called kintsugi, where an artisan fixes broken ceramics with gold lacquer. What we get in the end is something new and different, with added character and beauty. The philosophy of kintsugi suggests that breakage and damage are part of the history of an object, and when mended, it becomes more beautiful. Now, compare that to how the West thinks of broken things. Once it is chipped, it has lost its value. It is no longer new. It's ugly and should be discarded. I see very much the parallel in how the West value purity, virginity, newness, and youth. Any blemish is an affront to how they perceive beauty. For many of us who live here, we equate so much value into that purity and newness that we have internalized those ideas. It shapes how we see ourselves and our value. So when we get those tiny cuts and big cuts, we see ourselves as broken, blemished, and ugly. We lost our purity. How can we ever be beautiful again? I think the idea of kintsugi offers us an antidote to this approach, that mending ourselves can make us whole and beautiful again. I believe we can be the same in our approach with our traumatic experiences. Instead of tossing ourselves away, we can build ourselves into something more than what we were before. Maybe even to appreciate and reframe our experience into something that makes us stronger. So, how do we change how we see ourselves? I think first we need to accept that many times we are not in control. I remember a quote from the OA, the Netflix show. The biggest mistake I made was believing that if I cast a beautiful net, I'd only catch beautiful things. I think what they mean by this is that most of the time, our experiences are almost like a lottery. We are allotted experiences whether we like it or not. This can be unexpected accidents, death of a loved one, natural disaster. Control is something that we have deluded ourselves to have. But when we think about it, most of the time we don't have control. But what we do have control over are our choices in how we deal with those situations. Accepting them deeply, feeling them, and dealing with them without running away, these are the things that helps us heal. We need to keep in mind that most of the time we did nothing wrong. Trauma is not a choice. But our decision to actively choose to heal ourselves is a choice. The trauma is not who we are, but choosing to wallow and beat ourselves is an active choice. And recreating a sense of peace and safety is also a conscious act. How we frame and reframe our experience is our choice to make. I went through intensive therapy for a while and I was medicated. I'm still medicated, which for a while I had shame for taking drugs for my mental health, but now I say I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
If this is what I need to thrive, then I will do it for me. Because I want to live. Not just live, I want to be happy. I want us all to be happy. My advice, Don't wait for a breaking point to seek help. That's dangerous. I encourage anybody to seek professional mental help. Ask a professional. There's no shame in asking for help. Just as we go to the dentist to get our teeth fixed, we should do the same for our mental health. It's the same thing. Therapy is like the regular yearly teeth cleaning. It took a long time for me to get back my sense of safety. Don't ever expect it to be overnight. It was slow, but at the end of the day, it was worth it. And it was a choice. You have to choose it. So, with all that I just discussed, I want to approach this art piece that invokes the journey of fixing oneself despite going through something terrible. For this piece, I'm thinking of creating a self-portrait. It will be photography based. I'm thinking of taking the photo and manipulating it in Photoshop. I would like it to look like a person or a sculpture that's actively trying to fix themselves with the gold lacquer, just like the Kintsugi approach. And as I do the steps to achieve the look that I want, I also meditate about my experience and what led me here. I'm treating it like a summary and recap about the journey that I had to go through. Each step that I take to further the process, I think about the same process that I had to do for myself to feel safe and whole again. Appreciating my dedication and thanking myself and giving grace and understanding to my past self. After taking the image, I call and select the best out of 100. I do the raw editing in DaVinci Resolve to get a good base for photo manipulation. And as all art process goes, I decided to change the concept a bit and made the head as a broken pot overflowing with gold, really leading in more to the surrealism, very Magritte and Dali inspired. And maybe I'll make a version with my face on it, who knows. But I think the main one will be the one with the pot or vase. This way it's a lot more universal and personal. I want the audience to be able to see themselves in it and place themselves in the art. Okay. I then pick the best pick with the most emotional weight on it. And then I edit the hell out of the skin. And remember folks, this is a fantasy surreal world. We are not here to replicate reality. I want to create a dream. So no comment about how it's not real and overly edited. That's the point. I use Nomad Sculpt for the pot and for the gold body that I will mask out in Photoshop. I really tried to paint the cracks from imagination but failed so bad I had to get reference photos. Then I took the photos and placed it in Photoshop where I blended it in piece by piece to my liking. The photos gave me a better effect, I think. Then I masked the gold body part by body part. This took me hours. And once I was done, I brought it back to DaVinci for some added atmosphere with a little bit of halation, glow, prism blur, and finally some grain. So here's our final piece titled You Are Not Broken. I thought about this piece for a long time before creating it. And yes, it feels like a literal, very literal approach with the title, but I think right now, since I'm just getting back to creating art again, I feel the need to be more approachable with the symbolisms. I need to practice a bit more. I need that practice before I go to deeper, more complex topics. So here I decided to make myself a literal kintsugi jar, actively fixing myself and transforming to something different, but still beautiful. My left hand is in the Vitarka Mudra position from Buddhism, which represents learning, growing, knowledge sharing, and it's in the middle of mending the body. And my right hand is doing the peace symbol close to the heart, telling it to be calm. The pot is filled and overflowing, meaning that it's not leaking anymore. We have succeeded in fixing ourselves, and we are overflowing with enough gold to spare for others whose pot may be too broken. Because we have to fix ourselves first, so we may have enough energy to help others. You are not broken, we are not broken, because we know how to fix us. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to do this YouTube thing. And let me know how you would approach this project differently in the comments. And remember to go out there and create, the world needs it, and I'll see you next time.